Here's something that might shock you. Apple just proved that ultra-thin smartphones don't have to be repair nightmares waiting to happen. The iPhone Air has completely flipped the script on what we thought we knew about sleek device design versus practical maintenance. The repair experts at iFixit recently put the iPhone Air through their comprehensive teardown analysis, and the results are genuinely surprising. This impossibly slim device earned a solid 7 out of 10 repairability rating, a score that would make many chunky Android phones jealous. But here's where it gets controversial. Apple has essentially demonstrated that the repair difficulties we've endured for years with previous iPhone models weren't actually necessary engineering constraints. Apple has proved that thin doesn't have to mean unfixable. The iFixit team observed during their detailed examination, its layout and design trade-offs make repairs more approachable, not less. It still has limits, but the design shows that good engineering can make even the slimmest devices last longer in the real world. Now, before you get too excited, let's address the elephant in the room. The iPhone Air's battery performance isn't going to win any endurance awards compared to its beefier siblings in the iPhone lineup. However, and this is the part most people miss, Apple has made this particular weakness surprisingly easy to fix. The engineering breakthrough lies in Apple's innovative dual-entry design approach. Unlike previous iPhone models, where accessing the battery required dismantling half the phone, the iPhone Air allows technicians to reach the battery directly through the back glass panel. This means no more carefully navigating around stacked components or risking damage to the delicate logic board that typically sits above the battery compartment. Here's an interesting detail that Apple probably doesn't want you focusing on. The iPhone Air uses the exact same battery found in their MagSafe battery pack accessory. This component sharing could theoretically make replacement parts more readily available, though Apple's official repair policies might have something to say about that. Speaking of real-world performance, CNET's comprehensive testing revealed that while the battery took a noticeable hit on heavy use days, it actually held up surprisingly well under more moderate use and performed better than many industry observers predicted before launch. But isn't it fascinating how we've become so conditioned to accept battery life compromises in the name of aesthetics? The repairability improvements extend beyond just the battery situation. iFixit points out that approximately 80% of their scoring methodology focuses on how easily you can replace the components most likely to fail during typical use. The iPhone Air's USB-C charging port, that connector that inevitably collects pocket lint and debris, is described as decently modular, while replacing it requires what iFixit diplomatically calls a fairly tedious but feasible process. At least it's actually possible now. And this is where things get really controversial. Apple still doesn't perform in-house USB-C port repairs for iPhones, nor do they sell official replacement ports to consumers or independent repair shops. Third-party parts suppliers have stepped in to fill this gap, but it raises some uncomfortable questions about Apple's commitment to the right to repair movement they claim to support. So here's what I'm curious about. Are we actually asking for the right things when it comes to smartphone design? We've been demanding thinner phones for over a decade, often at the expense of battery life, repairability, and durability. The iPhone Air suggests we might not have to choose between sleek aesthetics and practical longevity anymore. But here's the real question that might spark some heated discussions. If Apple can engineer a paper-thin phone that's still repairable, why did it take them this long to figure it out? Were all those previous unrepairable by design criticisms actually valid? Or were we just accepting unnecessary limitations? What do you think? Is the iPhone Air proof that we can have our cake and eat it too when it comes to smartphone design? Or are there still too many compromises involved? Are you willing to sacrifice some battery life for a device that won't become electronic waste the moment something breaks? Let me know in the comments whether you think Apple's finally found the sweet spot, or if this is just another marketing gimmick disguised as innovation.